Welcome back to the Boring Handy channel, where we take on pretty much anything a handyman might be asked to take on, plus a little extra. Moving has been very stressful. The fact is, some things during the move have gone really well. Some things have not gone well at all. But if I had to pick one thing that has gone smoother than anything else during this whole process, it has probably been digging the pond. I met with the contractor the day we closed. He was at the property and we come up with a plan. It was decided during our planning phase that what we would do is find a kind of a sloping part of the land. We would scrape into the slope and push the dirt up into the dams of the pond. And that way we wouldn't have to dig very deep. We could achieve maybe 8 or 9 feet of pond without having to dig very deep to do it. So the risk of running into any kind of bedrock would be fairly low. Originally, when we had decided to dig the pond, we were going to put a building between the house and the pond. That building was going to be my shop. Over the weekend, we changed our minds. So, change of plans. We now want the building on the other side of the house. Where we wanted to put the building, there's already a building there. And that building was too large to be moved and too small to be used for a shop. So we were going to have to knock it down. You know, I got heavy equipment over here digging the pond, and the only thing I had to really provide was a dumpster. Getting a dumpster is not as easy as calling up a dumpster company and saying, hey, need a dumpster tomorrow. You know, they generally need a little bit more notice. And so I had to call several companies before I found someone who had a dumpster that they were willing to deliver to me next day. And although I thank them for that, there was a little bit of a miscommunication in the beginning. Well, let me just show you what happened. So the 16 by 24 is being torn down today. I called for a dumpster. The lady expressed to me on the phone that it was a 20-foot long dumpster. I just about cried when I saw it. That dumpster is like 12 feet long. I was stunned to discover that most of that building, at least most of the part above grade, fit into that dumpster. There was only about maybe a pickup truck load that didn't fit. Ended up not being a big issue. We just had ourselves a little bonfire and that problem was solved. The concrete, the stuff that was below grade, we couldn't get that in the dumpster. Again, not an issue. We decided that those concrete chunks would be better suited in the pond as fish structure, so something to fish around in the future. So I ended up with these 5 pretty big rock piles that without a doubt are going to hold a lot of fish and are going to break off a lot of fishing line. With the pond finished and the fish structure in place, even though it was kind of late in the year, I did go ahead and try to sow some winter ryegrass seed. I guess I was concerned about, rain and erosion all winter long without having anything over the pond. Winter ryegrass is one of those things that won't come up, when it's kind of hot outside, and there is kind of a narrow window when you're supposed to plant. But here in Alabama, winter can really get kicked off in October some years, and in other years it waits till January. So I rolled the dice and we sowed some seed. It's kind of yet to be seen whether or not it's going to come up, but I'll keep you posted on that as well. So now we just have to fill the pond. We're just waiting on the rain. As of the pond being finished, we've had 2 rain events at the time of this video. One of those was barely a rain event at all. It was enough to kind of wet the roads, but you had no runoff, so there was no actual accumulation in the pond. The second rain event was a pretty good one. We ended up with about 18 inches of water in the pond overnight. Here's a picture that I've taken kind of before the pond had water, and after the pond had water, I just kind of superimposed my kids standing amongst the rock piles just for size reference. Now, we are expecting more rain later on this week, but that's going to be for another video. So if you're enjoying the pond build series and you want to know more and don't miss the videos when they come out, be sure and give me a subscribe. Until next time, this is Jason with Boring Handy, and this has been part 2 of digging a pond in clay soil.